Your attendance could be stronger if you fix some of these SEO mistakes that big churches often make. My name is Chris Jackson, aka the SEO Priest. I'm gonna be working out here, and in between sets, I'm gonna tell you 3 mistakes that big churches often make in their search engine optimization. So the biggest mistake I commonly see with big churches is their HTML is often a huge mess, especially on their homepage. Your homepage is the most important page on your website, and ideally it's a page that is optimized in order to show up well for local searches. So let's say you're a big church in St. Louis, Missouri. You want your church to show up really high on queries like churches in St. Louis, Missouri. And given that you're a big church, it's actually probably easy to do. You just have some of the right formatting. But here's the problem a lot of big churches have. They hire high-dollar design studios to do their website. And essentially these websites are vanity projects for the pastoral staff because it's all about projecting an image. But you can project all the image you want, it's not connecting with people that are looking for a church like yours in the area. All that money you spent on high-dollar designers, it really doesn't matter. And the designers will tell you that they know SEO, that they can make your website show up well in local search results. Well, the fact of the matter is that that's not their ticket. And so I see all kinds of problems in the HTML of churches that are big because they hired these $10,000 website designers, but they're not even doing things like making sure that their meta title is set correctly, that it's optimized for local search. They're not having a meta description that's optimized for local search. The heading tags are not formatted appropriately. So a common problem that I find with big churches is that every heading on the homepage will be an H1 header. Now, what's an H1 header? Think of headers as sort of like levels on an outline. So your H1 would be your title, and your H2s are going to be your sub-levels underneath your title, and then beneath those H2s you can have H3s, which are like your sub-levels on your outline. And ideally you've only got one H1, because what your H1 is telling search engines is this page is all about this one topic. All the content on the page is what's under this topic. And so a lot of high-dollar design firms, they're really only thinking about the appearance. They're not thinking about how the various HTML tags they apply to the headings, what those are communicating to search engines. And also people who utilize screen readers. Headings are an accessibility issue as well for people who are visually impaired. And so what your H1 does, ideally, it tells search engines and it tells people using screen readers, this church serves this particular community, whatever community it is that you're targeting. St. Louis, Phoenix, Omaha, Nebraska. Ideally, you're communicating, we are a church in this community in your H1 header. And then you have additional H2 headers that reinforce this, like you mentioned your whatever denomination you are in that town as an H2 header. You can even talk about churches in general. So one of the most powerful optimizations that churches can do is to actually optimize for plural search, because most searches for churches are in the plural. And I see big churches messing that one up all the time because they're paying high dollar for a design company, but they're not paying attention to the SEO particulars. Hey, before we go on to our next point, I just want to invite you to subscribe to my free newsletter. It's the Church SEO Shape Up newsletter. So I believe in getting bodies in shape, and I also believe in getting search engine optimization in shape, because SEO, search engine optimization, it's how you connect with people looking for churches in your area. And it's the easiest way to connect with potential new members for your church. churchseo.io/newsletter. It's completely free, sends you one email a week, and you follow the step-by-step process. You'll have the best SEO of any church in your community. Another big problem that I see from big churches is that they fail to have appropriate location pages on their website. So your main homepage needs to be optimized for the top level community that you're serving. So let's say that you're a church in St. Louis, Missouri, for example. I'm using St. Louis because I know St. Louis. So ideally, your homepage is going to be optimized for St. Louis, and let's say that's going to be for your main campus, all right? But let's say you're a big church, and let's say you've got multiple campuses. Each and every one of those campuses needs its own page on the website, and it should ideally be optimized for that particular location. So in the same way that you added the appropriate HTML tags to your main homepage for your main campus, for every alternative campus that you have, you should have all those tags set appropriately for that location as well. So let's say that you have a location in Maplewood, an inner ring suburb of St. Louis. Ideally, your H1, your meta title, your meta description, all of that would have the term Maplewood, Missouri, and church in it. Ideally as well, your URL, the part after the /, that's going to mention Maplewood. But it's not just for places where you have a campus. You can actually have a location page for every location that people come from. My experience is that people will drive pretty far for church. They'll drive up to an hour and a half for a church that's suitable to them. And if you're a big church, there's a good chance you're drawing people from up to an hour and a half away. So think, what's the largest radius that we serve? And what are the communities in that radius? So let's say that you're a church in St. Louis, Missouri. You might also serve people from East St. Louis. And so you might have a location page specifically for East St. Louis because you serve people from there. Or let's say that you draw people from out in St. Peters, Missouri. So, a little bit further west. You can have a location page for St. Peters. And it's not saying that you're located there, but it's just saying that you serve people there. And you do. People will drive from St. Peters to your church. And if someone gets sick and they're in the hospital in St. Peters, Missouri, you're probably going to send a staff person out there to visit them and to bring the gospel to them in the hospital. So have a location page optimized for the entire region, every community in the entire region that you serve. Hey, before we go on to our next point, I just want to invite you to subscribe to my free newsletter. It's the Church SEO Shape Up newsletter. So I believe in getting bodies in shape, and I also believe in getting search engine optimization in shape, because SEO, search engine optimization, it's how you connect with people looking for churches in your area. And it's the easiest way to connect with potential new members for your church. churchseo.io/newsletter. It's completely free, sends you one email a week, and you follow the step-by-step process. You'll have the best SEO of any church in your community. final issue for SEO that I see that big churches have is that they're really not taking advantage of SEO when it comes to their social posts and their videos. And I see this all the time in, for example, YouTube Shorts. So search engine optimization, it's about optimizing everywhere where people search. And people search everywhere. They search in TikTok, they search in Instagram, they search in YouTube. And a lot of these social platforms do get indexed on Google. And I see lots of big churches that are posting shorts. And maybe these are excerpts of the pastor's sermon. Maybe these are excerpts from Bible studies. And their shorts just are not getting much traction. Maybe they're getting even just 20 views. Maybe if they're lucky, 200. And the issue is that they're not keyed to any topics that people are paying attention to or curious about. And especially with the way social algorithms work now, it's not social media anymore, it's interest media. And how do you know what people are interested in? The topics that are gonna drive views, that YouTube or Instagram knows this person's interested in this topic and they're a Christian, so if we send this video to them, they're gonna be interested in it. And that's a search engine optimization, that's an SEO issue. So let's say you take that snippet of a pastor's sermon. What are you gonna title it? How are you gonna describe it in the description? Ideally, take a topic that pastor is addressing in that snippet and try to find whatever question people might have. There's all kinds of ways to do this. There are keyword tools that are very inexpensive, like Keywords Everywhere, which you can use that to help find topics that people are interested in. Or even something as simple as YouTube autocomplete or Google autocomplete. Like you can start typing in subjects, and if they start popping up as suggested queries, well, then you know people are interested in that topic. And that's what you ought to title your video. That's what you ought to put in the description of the video. And if you do that, YouTube is going to push that out in the initial push. But then you're also going to gain traffic in the push after that. So whenever anybody searches for that topic on YouTube, there's a good chance that your short is going to show up as one of the suggested results. So even let's say you get 500, 600 views on that first initial push that YouTube does of that video. Let's say in 6 months, someone has a question about this issue and they go into YouTube or they go into Google and they ask these search engines about that issue. Well, there's a very good chance that they're gonna suggest your video as one of the solutions to that query. So this is a way that you can get a lot of long tail traffic on the shorts that you produce. So I believe in getting bodies in shape, and I also believe in getting search engine optimization in shape, because SEO, search engine optimization, it's how you connect with people looking for churches in your area. And it's the easiest way to connect with potential new members for your church. churchseo.io/newsletter. It's completely free, sends you 1 email a week, and you follow the step-by-step process. You'll have the best SEO of any church in your community.